Unique portraits bringing personalities to life is our topic today on Luminar Coffee Break. Let's see what we can accomplish in 10 minutes or less, starting now. Hello, everyone. All right, so this image I want to show you, pull it up. All right, this image here was taken over the weekend at our workshop in New Jersey. This is Mike. He's one of the workers at the camera store. Now, the reason why we put his camera in here is we have his camera in, his look on his face, something about him. This is going to be his new profile image he wants for Facebook. He wants a serious yet looking cool. All right? Well, let me show you the lighting setup first. This was the lighting diagram. It was a 3-light setup. So here's a beauty dish. These 2 lights back here were the key lights or the main lights, meaning those were the lights we set the exposure on. So these lights were brighter than this light. This light right here, the beauty dish, was the fill light. So imagine this, just to make life easier. Let's say these here were set to be the power of F4. But this here was set to be the power of F8. Well, if I set my lights to F4, well, that means that this is going to be darker because I need it to be F8, but I don't want F8. I want an F4 right here, and then this light right here is going to be a stop or 2 stops less bright, and it fills in the blank in his face. So this is the look that we're getting at. So notice here is going to be brighter. Back in here is brighter. But we still need to put a little light in the middle of his face. All right? So that's how we got the shot. Now, let's see how we edit it to be a little more creative. I'm going to come over here. And actually, that's the JPEG. So let's get to the original image. There we go. All right, there we are. So here's the original image. Now, let's edit it. A couple things. He was slanting back. I'm going to fix that in a moment. But what I want to start with is the develop tool. And I do want to bring my camera profile in. So I'm going to use my camera profile for my Z6. That's one step. The other step I want to do is take my color. And since I didn't have a gray card in the scene, I want to try to find neutral gray. So I'm going to click on the white of his eye right in here. Notice 144, 126, 110. It's not 100% neutral gray, but it's close. Oh, there it is. Look at that. 71, 59, 53. And look how the color changed. All right? So I did that. But now I do want to bring back some of the color temperature. Good. I like where that's at. Let's go on a little bit. Now notice back in here, we use grids on the lights right there. Those little egg shape or egg crate grids. We did that so it wouldn't touch the background and the light was on him. All right. So by doing that, let's get back to where we were. By doing that, we kept the background black. But I am going to come in and work with the black tone just a little bit because I want to make sure that's pure black. And I'm going to bump up the contrast. All right? Before and after. Look at that. Before, after. You don't have a little tint on him. So I'm going to change it up just a bit. Right about there. All right. So I have that set. Now let's get a little more creative. So we'll go to the creative tools and we'll go to dramatic. Now, typically, I like to crank this all the way up to see what I'm dealing with, and then bring it back down again. So I'm only clicking on here because I clicked off of dramatic. So let's go to edits or history, and I'm going to continue with this dramatic tool. I'm going to dial back the exposure. Yep, I got that a little too aggressive. Oh, good. Right about there. Let's see if it makes a difference. Yes, it is. Good. All right. I like where that's at. And I'm going to add another develop tool. This time I'm going to take the highlights. There we go. I just want to bring it in a little bit. A little more. There we go. I'm watching for this area here. Nice. All right, so up to this point, before, after. All right, let's go to our portrait tools. Under face, I'm going to add a little light to his face, eyes, and I'm going to enhance him. Let's move in so we can see. A little too much. There we go. You know what? Let's put a little flare under the eyes. There. Dark circles. You know what? I'm going to do a little bit. I do like keeping the dark circles under the eyes because we are working with a dramatic tool. But I'll lighten it up just a bit. And the rest of it's fine. Let's go to skin. And because he's a man, I'm only going to use very little skin softening. But let's see if the shine removal. Yeah, look at that. That shine removal is helping us right in here. We have it. Now, if this right here is bothering you, because it is bothering me a little bit, I would either use another image or let's come down here to the super sharpen, or I'm sorry, super contrast. And let's see if that can fill in. There it is. And I'm filling in some of that texture there. Got it. All right. So now that I have this set, I'm going to export it. Now this is an add-on. So we already have it set, but I want to print this to a 8x10. All right. So the ratio needs to be a 5x4. Well, my old camera, I can actually set that in the camera. I can set a 5x4 ratio, and now it comes out to a perfect 8x10. Excuse me. The new Z6 II and the Z6 doesn't have that feature. The Z7 and the Z8 did. So I have to manually crop. All right, so watch how I'm going to choose to crop this for an 8x10. All right. So I exported it. I'm going to come up here and let's say single image edits. We'll use this one right here. Let me revert it. There we go. So right here, excuse me, I just have a blank black 8x10 image. Now, we're not, Luminar is not a pixel-based editor. Therefore, you need to create this either in Canva, Photoshop, or anything that can create a solid black background. So now that I have my solid black background, you guessed it, we're going to come in, and this is where I would add Mike, but I already added him earlier. So I'm going to click on that image and take the opacity to 100%. Now, I mentioned earlier, look how he's leaning back. Well, let's give it a little Dutch tilt, but in the opposite direction. Yeah, right about there. Maybe expand it a little bit. There we go. So you see what I just did? Was I took the image, there's a little more headroom up on top. I took the image and instead of doing the traditional cropping, What I chose to do instead was put it on the actual paper that we're going to be printing with. And now I have the image perfectly framed. So if I need to print this, so when I send this off to the printers, it's exactly the way I want it on an 8x10. All right. Now, and you notice the black matched the back of the background. It was because of those grids that we used on the strip boxes that stopped the light or prevented the light from spilling onto the background, giving me that perfect shot. All right. So again, that's how we created a unique portrait. Notice, let me put it back here. I did have him hold his camera, and I had the camera facing the camera manufacturer facing the camera itself, so you can see he's a Canon shooter. This would be great for his portrait on social media. All right.